On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMAjunkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is going to be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMAjunkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Gold. This is what we do and why we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'!
The MMAjunkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Daniel Digger!
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communication stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMAjunkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMAjunkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMAjunkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Race and Sportsbook, you're listening to the MMAjunkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes. Our ace co-host, to my left, it's the fight analyst, Dan Tom. Back east, producing, as always, Danny Otto, our special co-host for the day. Stitch Duran, a boxing and MMA legendary cut man. Great friend of the show, now an executive with FFC, but he's done it all, man. He's even an author and an actor because his movie's coming out, what, in about a month and a half, right, Stitch?
Thanksgiving Day. I don't think it's a month and a half.
Yeah.
So it's
November
coming
2nd. We turned the page. We're in November.
I think, what are we in now? Next week, I go to New York for the premiere. Premiere's on the 14th, man.
Okay,
so,
2 weeks.
So 2 weeks, huh?
That's right.
Who are you taking with you?
Sorry, I asked.
No, I know there's no way. But who are you taking?
I'm taking Charlotte and then my son Daniel.
And
man, I'm really looking forward to it. There was a big article on the New York Times yesterday. The people production or the PR people from Creed 2 says, "Hey man, check out the New York Times. You're on the front page of that's what's me, Rocky, Adonis, and we're in the ring. So that big picture is right there." So,
I wish I would have saved a bunch of those.
Yeah, I know. And I told the lady, she goes, "Get a couple copies." I said, "I don't think they sell the New York Times in Las Vegas." She goes, "Well,
they might have a bookstore like Barnes and Noble or something like that. They might.
Yeah.
When did it come out?
Well, it actually comes out Sunday, so they kind of show me the little highlight.
It can still happen this Sunday.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, it's coming out this Sunday. Yeah. So
I got you.
You got me, man.
I'm gonna figure it out. We'll find it. You're right. I know certain.
Well, we know people in New York.
Yeah,
Danny's in New York.
Yeah, Danny. Yeah, don't count on Danny, bro.
Guess my invitation to the premiere got lost in the mail.
Wow. Exactly.
Danny's like kicking back right now, and he's just got his hat, covering his face, taking a nap.
Hey, what? He mentioned my name.
Yeah, what'd he say? What'd he say?
That's dope. Yeah.
Wow.
You need to save a bunch of those. We came out on one of our bosses at USA Today told us, "Hey, you guys are on the front page today," and that's somewhat happened before. But we thought they meant the sports page. Yeah. So we went, we looked, we couldn't find anything, and it turned out it was the front of all of USA Today. So him and I went all over town getting a bunch of them, so I'm familiar with this process, and I know that you can get the New York Times.
All right, yeah, you're talking about Barnes & Noble. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll put Danny on it and see if he comes through.
Man. Danny, all right, I'll go check Barnes & Noble.
We'll put our mute producer on it, Danny.
I see how it is.
All right. I did want to investigate something, though. If Daniel were to text you right now and goes, "Dad, I can't go," who fills in then?
It would have been Carla.
If she texts you and says, "I can't go in either,"
well, then it would have been the highest bidder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I want to see where Goes ranked, where he's coming in.
Oh no!
If he bats ninth in the lineup, or if he's cleanup, or
actually the next person in line would be my grandson. He lives in New York, you know, so of course I'd be taking him.
Yeah.
And I asked for 5 tickets, and it was already booked. Only gave me 3.
That's what I was gonna ask because I know didn't Daniel go to the last one?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out if the other kids would have said, "Hey, Daniel got to go last time. Can I go?"
Yeah, no, they're pretty good. And the thing when they also went to the filming in Philadelphia for a week, Charlotte and Daniel, and and Michael B. Jordan really took a liking to him, you know, and so, you know, it's nice just to go over there and rekindle that friendship, but the movie's going to be exceptional, man. It's tremendous. I expect it to be better than the first one. Just the storyline with Ivan Drago and his son it's a story in itself, and then obviously what happens with Adonis and Rocky and all that. It's a pretty sick movie, man.
I'm way ahead of you, George, because here's my thinking. He does his thing, right?
Yeah.
But then we have our thing out here like we did last time. Remember when we all got to go watch the movie with you?
Yes.
That was fun.
That was great, man.
Yeah.
Just do it again.
Let's do that again.
I'm game. Thanksgiving Day, you know, after we eat and get sleepy and all that, let's slap each other in the face.
My parents will be
up.
in town, too.
Oh, good. It'd be great to have them.
Yeah.
You know, so let's lay it out, man. My man.
All right. Well, lots to talk about, including FFC 33. Yes. They weighed in yesterday, so they're good to go there. We have a kickboxing main event there, but now these cards are hybrid cards. That's something I learned when I went for my first time a few weeks ago. We'll cover that. We'll cover UFC 230, which takes place tomorrow night in Madison Square Garden with Daniel Cormier and Derek Lewis. We'll keep an eye on those weigh-ins. They're probably happening now or may have already happened. I was on the phone with Delta all morning, so I didn't peek at the news. Did you see, Goes, if weigh-ins happened? Or?
Yeah, 2 people missed weight.
Oh, really?
Sarge missed weight. You believe that?
Oh, my God. That young lady, man. And Sajara Eubanks. All that tripping she was doing and chirping she was doing on social media because she was going to get the shot at Valentina Shevchenko. And I don't know if she would have turned it on had she really gotten the title shot or what, but you can't miss weight at all, much less when you're chirping and much less when you're next in line or you feel like you're next in line. Who was the other person?
Starts with an H. Oh, my God. You remember? We had his opponent on the other day.
Oh, yeah, it was shoot.
Oh, my God. What's his name?
Look it up.
It does start with
Brian Keller.
I want to know.
Brian Keller.
Brian Keller. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Ben Askren, I'm going to look up his Twitter right now. He kind of took it to her.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. How long is he going to last with the UFC under those kind of verbiages, huh?
But you know what? I think the UFC might go, oh, stop it, Ben. But deep down, they're like, yeah, excellent.
Yeah,
they love that drama, you know?
But how can you deny what he's saying? Okay, so she puts out this tweet, right? And it's kind of like an emoji of someone going like this, right? And so he says, crazy amount of immaturity. First acts immature about not getting the main event at 3-2, then doesn't do her job and make weight. Time to grow up and be a pro. Granted,
perfectly said, man.
Does he have to say it? No.
Well, no, but they started in on each other.
Yeah.
So it's open season.
But is there truth to what he's saying? Probably.
And you know what's great? Let me add to that with Burt Watson. Let's give Burt Watson what the credit is due. When Burt was with the UFC, everybody made weight. But, you know, what he would do is when these fighters would get into town, first thing he would do is set them on the scale and make sure that, you know, they were within the limits of making weight. But everybody always made weight, you know, and that was what made Burt such a special person.
Yeah. Burt was on the show. He got a gig as a coordinator for the World Bare Knuckle Fighting Federation.
Yes, and Boss Rutten is the president.
Boss Rutten's the president, yeah.
You know, I did the last PFL, and Boss told me that he was on it. I can't do that show because I'm doing FFC that night, but I sent Don House and Paul Querido. Paul Querido's from
everybody loves that guy.
Yeah, exactly. I got him a role as Ivan Drago's cut man.
Oh, yeah?
So, man, his whole life is going to change once this comes out. I've seen the trailers, and he's on it twice. I'm only on it once in a quick, you know. So he's there with Ivan Drago and all that, and, you know, I'm glad that he got that position, and he's just a good guy. But, you know, I told the new promotion, you guys need good cut men because these guys are going to get cut. The last bare knuckle fights that I did, I think out of the 9 fights I worked, 7 guys got cut. You know, I went in for the 8th guy, but it was the coach is all freaking out, but he just had a little cut, and that's nothing to worry about.
There was no room for La Barba in Creed 2?
No, couldn't get La Barba, man. But
Sorry about
but you know what?
Oh, me? I'm La Barba? Oh.
You know, but Stallone is doing, I guess, Rambo, and it's supposed to be the cartel brother.
Oh, that's right.
God.
It's already filming, right?
I think so. Well, they're already filming, but
Another Rambo.
I got to let them know, man. You know, we got La Barba.
You know, one of the coolest.
And because I got Bell's palsy,
Yeah.
my eye kind of is already, it's got a little bit of that Forrest Whitaker look to
Yeah.
it. I'm not sure if he has it too, but I'm unique, bro.
No, I know
We'll put a
you are,
scar
yeah.
right here.
Huh?
We'll put a scar right here.
Yeah.
That way, like it happened from a machete or something
From a
like that.
machete, yeah.
Right.
In prison?
In prison.
Right.
And look, my pants are sagging a
Minimum
little
security.
bit, so I qualify for a SAG card, right?
Yeah.
I got a funny Forrest Whitaker thing to say later on. Just wanted to note that mental note for later. So
You know
I didn't
him?
interrupt, but no. Just
Well, no,
maybe
no,
think
tell
of
us what
something
Is
funny.
it one that you're gonna have to tell us off the air?
Off the air.
Probably,
okay.
yeah, probably off the air. Yeah.
All right. Well, guys. So okay. Brian Kelleher and Sajara Eubanks missed weight, but everything else is good to go. I mean, I really doubt the heavyweights are going to miss weight. I think Derek's been pretty good about it. He's never really given us close calls.
Who knows with all that talk about Popeyes and Carl's Jr.? You never know.
He gets Popeyes for life. Win or
At one
lose.
location though, in Houston, right?
That's good enough.
Yeah.
And if he wins the title, I think there's a 1 hour block where everyone gets free Popeyes in Houston at that certain location. So I'm really happy for Derek. I went through this yesterday. I don't mind going through it again. We always have different people that listen in, listen out. But that guy's life changed by not giving up on himself. With 11 seconds to go, he finished Alexander Volkov at UFC 226. And because of that, he was able to win his win bonus, which we publicly know. Nevada State Athletic Commission discloses $130,000. The performance bonus, $50,000. That's $180,000. And he got this title shot where the rumors are he's going to bank about $1 million. So think about it, man. At least that's a roundabout number of $1 million for not giving up on himself and just throwing away and not – because a lot of people, when they know they're going to lose, they either it's cruise control to the finish line or the cover-up or they just stop throwing, and he didn't. So this deal with Popeyes and everything else he's got coming, good for him. He really, really turned his life around. This is a guy that at one point was doing time.
Yeah.
So really, really happy for Derek. And then you can't say enough about Daniel Cormier and the career that he's had as well. This is a title that no one can ever say he backed into, he was given, or anything like that. He legitimately beat Stipe Miocic, and now he gets a chance to defend it. And then there's that possible Brock Lesnar fight on the horizon. Ooh, big days for him. So both guys are already entering the octagon tomorrow night as winners, and just somebody's life is going to continue to go, skyrocket, and the other one will plateau a bit, and they'll have a chance to regroup. If it's Derek, because I know DC's basically in his last 6 months of fighting, it seems like. Although he did say in one of the embeddeds, I could fight another 3 years, but
if he wanted to.
But I think he's going to finish things up in March of 2019.
Did you see what Dana tweeted about John Jones? And if he were to come back after everything he's been through, win the title, how could you deny him being the greatest of all time? And I started thinking about that, and right now I have Daniel Cormier in that conversation. Getting 2 belts the way he did, the guys he's gone through. But the one thing about Cormier is his legacy is going to get stronger even after he retires. Because Stipe Miocic is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, and I believe he will continue to be that again. Once Daniel Cormier leaves, that's going to strengthen his resume. A guy like Derek Lewis is still getting better, and he's going to beat a lot of top people. So right now, people will look at maybe a victory over Derek Lewis and say, oh, okay, but you know what? Derek just came off of a fight, and we haven't really seen much of him on the ground. But as he gets better and gets bigger wins, Cormier's status will rise as well. So that's going to be tough to figure out. But I do believe that when Daniel Cormier retires next year, we can't really judge him at that point. It's going to be maybe a year or two when we're really going to appreciate just how good he was.
Well, and I appreciated him when he beat Josh Barnett. When they matched up, I'm thinking, oh, yeah, Josh is going to just dismantle him. But it was the other way around, and he's been consistent in what he's been doing. He doesn't look like that guy that will be able to dominate you, but he does. But
him, BJ Penn, Fedor, they all got them little bellies going on, you know what I mean? But they go out there, and they're some of the greatest ever.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking about John Jones, Remember Muhammad Ali took that time off, came back, and really kind of just continued where he left off. Is John Jones capable of doing that? I think he is.
He still has youth on his side. He's never lost. He's got an incredible record. The guy he's fighting is the guy he's beaten. They both have gotten better. It'll be interesting. I think he'll really be tested, though, if he stays healthy. I think there's a couple young guys that are coming through the ranks that they're hungry. You know what I mean? And can you stay hungry? He's got goals that he can chase down, like Demetrius. Most title defenses. He won't be able to do consecutive because his title reigns have been on and off. But I wonder if he'll want to chase what DC did and go a division higher become a heavyweight at some point and do his thing there.
And I think he can, just his size-wise.
He just has to add muscle, eat a little Popeyes or whatever it takes to put on some extra weight. I don't know. Alistair Overeem was a 205er, and look at him. He's one of the big dudes right now. Daniel Cormier wrestled at 184 and became a heavyweight in MMA and then went down to light heavyweight. But a lot of those guys have done the same thing. Yeah. Interesting. All right. As far as Dana White's tweet, though, I would just say that whoever – I remember him saying that with Renan Barao and Jose Aldo. It's whoever's the flavor of the month. I think he just gets that greatest of all time and GOAT and pound for pound. I think that's his job as a promoter. I don't blame him for it. You know what I mean? Because whoever's interviewing him, like Dan Libetard, Colin Coward, or whatever, they don't have the knowledge to check them.
Yeah.
They're just mainstream media. They're just basically exchanging cake and ice cream with every question. Oh, this tastes good. How about that? Yeah, why don't you try this one? Oh, great. Hey, nice to see you. That's about it. But there's no one there to really say, well, hold on. Last time you said this. Tell me what, how you classify this, why you're saying this, and what about the outside the octagon troubles or whatever? Does that factor in? Or are you just talking about in-cage performance? I'd love for someone to just ask him those opinions. Because one thing is he'll always give you an answer. He never really no comments you or anything like that. It's just that it's a little bit more of a safe haven with mainstream.
Well, one thing I was thinking about was the four kings in boxing, right? I don't understand why we have to just have that one guy, because anytime somebody brings up Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, you saw us geek out when we met Roberto Duran, right? Like, have you ever seen us be more of dorks at that moment, right?
And I tell that story all the time. I say, you guys are saying, is that Roberto Duran?
But nobody would ever walk up to us and go, Sugar Ray got the best of. Nobody would say that. Yeah. They're just we just look at them as they were great. Yeah. And I think at some point in mixed martial arts, we're going to make that churn. We're going to stop focusing on the one guy and just start talking about just how great that crop of fighters were. And I think that'll happen with Randy Couture, Vanderlei Silva, Chuck Liddell, and who would be the fourth guy? Maybe Vitor Belfort, like that little group of guys, Tito Ortiz, those guys. I think that's when that's going to start to kind of turn a corner. It'll just be one phase of mixed martial arts, one part of the history.
No, you're right. These guys are like the Mike Tysons. They're never going to lose that credibility because of their past performances, and then they're not, so.
Being undefeated is it's nice at the time you're doing it, but it's not the end-all, be-all, and it definitely doesn't make you the greatest ever. Calzaghe was undefeated, Mayweather's undefeated, and Marciano was undefeated.
Good stats.
And I would say that none of them are in anybody's top three. Maybe Mayweather, if you have a hardcore fan. But when you start going, who's the greatest boxing of all? You start, oh, God, my back. You start with Sugar Ray Robinson or Muhammad Ali, depending on what route you want to go, or the Durans, the Leonards, and you could care less about the record.
Right.
You know what I mean? One thing Mayweather was able to do was financially make that beneficial to him, Maybe Habib will be able to do that as well. He's talking about that's starting to warm up a little bit, by the way. Dana had talks about that, and now he's not completely shutting it down. He's always saying, you never know. But
let me add to that real quick.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
And Mayweather had their usual, bi-monthly card or bi-quarterly card at the Samstown Saturday. So I went and introduced Orsat Zovko, the president of FFC, to Floyd, and Floyd says, "I'm fighting Habib, 200."
200. What does that mean?
Well, we figured it out. 200 million.
200 million. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That was what he said. Nice to meet you. I'm fighting Habib.
Yeah. He's telling
200.
Me. He said, "Yeah, I'm fighting Habib, and he says I'll play with him for 3 rounds. It's 200. That's all he said. But I understand. So is that going to happen? Everything is on marketing at that one. Then there's nobody better at marketing than Floyd Mayweather.
What did you say, Stitch, when he said that?
I said, well, good. I hope it happens. So, and I do. I hope it happens, just for Habib. And,
is that because you're a friend of the Mayweather family, or because
on the marketing standpoint?
Because as a fan, come on, right?
Yeah. But just on the marketing standpoint, because Floyd is just a master. And I know when he fought McGregor, I was in Shanghai, and the Chinese are asking me about that fight. So it caught the attention worldwide. Right. And I think now that Habib finished the way he did, he's like a big folk hero now, and in the Eastern Bloc countries, and you know, for him to come back and with that credential to fight a Floyd Mayweather, it's going to draw some attention.
What's important in that whole marketing sequence is the O on this side and the O on that side.
Yeah.
Because Khabib doesn't really talk much trash. That's what you got on Conor's side. That's what kind of rectified the fact that he has had some losses. It's the O against the O. To go back to your point, and this
I never
is where,
thought of that, but that's a good point.
This is where boxing has the advantages. When you're breaking down some of the best fighters of all time, when you do boxing, you can do it two ways. You could say, who was the greatest boxer of all time? And I say, you got to probably give that to Floyd.
Yeah.
But if you say, who was the greatest fighter of all time in boxing, I give that to Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard. They were a different breed. They were cut differently than Floyd Mayweather. In mixed martial arts, you can't do that. They're all fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with all that. I still throw Roberto Duran in that conversation. You know what I mean? But the boxing has so much history.
Ward.
There's just a lot of great fighters that fought. Andre Ward was a great boxer, just like Floyd.
Technique-wise,
he didn't have the competition. You know what I mean?
No.
He didn't have anybody that was like his rival, like Muhammad Ali had, and how Sugar Ray and Roberto Duran
so
had.
Clean. When you watch,
he was good. He was great,
you know,
man. And the gold medal. He just had like the perfect career.
When you watch people, when they put these videos of them hitting pads and stuff like that, and a lot of times if you go through the comments, a lot of people will say, well, yeah, but you don't fight like that. You just that's pretty. That looks good in the gym. Andre found a way to make that look pretty in the ring. Like, he looks just as good in the gym hitting pads. That's what he does to the fighter. It's so insane, his technique.
Yeah, you know, I work with Andre every fight except for 2 fights because I was already booked for other fights. But every time I looked at him, I'm thinking, you know what, he's nothing special, but he was special. Just looking at what he did, the adjustments he did as he went through the fights was pretty phenomenal, man. And I remember he fought Edson Miranda. Edson came in with a headbutt and cut him and was a little dirty. Andre got dirty with him, you know, and same thing with Kovalov. You know, when he fought him the first time when he got dropped, he knew that he could take his shot. Second time, he went over there and went to the body and broke him down.
Was that his last fight here at Mandalay Bay?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice way to go out in style like that with a KO.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and he's doing great, doing broadcasting. Well, he was doing broadcasting for HBO, and but just, you know, like I say, he hadn't lost since he was 12 years old, but he said he's won everything, the Super 6 tournament, well, the gold medals, Super 6 tournament, you know, the light heavyweight championship of the world. What more do you want? And his faculties are still
and
good.
The super middleweight.
And the super middleweight. And then now he's in the Creed movie also.
That's what I was going to ask you. He, because he was in the first one, right?
Yes.
And he's back in this one
yes.
too? Okay. Yeah. Now he's got a Mustang though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, now he has a Mustang.
Hey, Stitch, when you, if I may finish, when you were talking to Floyd, did he happen to say when?
No.
He just said 200 and that was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So this thing's heating up. This thing's heating up.
I have a feeling if it happens, it's not going to happen with the permission of the UFC.
It's got to. He's under contract.
Not if they do it somewhere else.
Floyd's going to want it here, and he's not going to fight anywhere but the T-Mobile. I know that for a fact.
Money?
No. Moscow?
You don't think he would bust for that, for money?
He
knows he's going to win. He doesn't have to worry about judges.
The Nevada State Athletic Commission, basically all of the commissions will honor it. As far as worldwide, there's going to be a certain courtesy that certain commissions worldwide will also honor it. So Khabib has to do it with their permission. And the UFC, if they're going to make some money, trust me, they'll be all in. They got to put on a front at some point. But if they are going to do it, it's because they're getting theirs. And so as far as like Dubai and everything, I see the big money fight being here in Vegas, so they all got to cooperate one way or another. Let's start with who's the list of disappointing people. Tony Ferguson, obviously. Conor, just because, oh man, had I won, maybe we could be doing part 2 in boxing, but Tony Ferguson will probably be the biggest loser in this sweepstakes. Now, if that fight's not till like next year sometime, because remember, Floyd is a May and September fighter, and May already is Ramadan. We know that. That's when they're going to observe Ramadan this year. I think it starts May 5th, if I'm not mistaken, or May 6th, right after Cinco de Mayo. Then I just I could see that fight happening next year, and then maybe Tony does get his fight beforehand. Who knows? But this is all speculation. At this point.
I think they're going to try here, and then they're going to come across a few roadblocks. But I don't think. I know what you're saying.
All they want is the money.
I know what you're saying, that Floyd loves to fight here in Vegas. He won't. But I would think it's probably his last fight, and I would think he would sell it said, "Hey, you guys are watching Rocky Drago.
Yeah.
I'm
But
gonna
see,
be
but
Rocky.
Floyd's
I'm
also
gonna go to Russia."
Floyd's also a promoter, though. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? He's got that. He's got these licenses to be a promoter. So in the future, anytime any of his guys want to get promoted or whatever, he's gonna have a lot of problems. I don't think Habib sails off in the sunset, but Habib's got a team. I don't know. I think they'll make it work here in Vegas. The only thing that's going to happen is Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to go, you know what you did was bad, right? Give us the money. Yeah. And then when they peel off the money, great. Now let's all make more money. And Nevada State Athletic Commission will make money. The judges will make $25,000 apiece. The ref will make $25,000, and we'll sit here and, I guess, promote it and watch it, even though we say we won't. But it's unfortunate. You know. It's unfortunate that that division will get held up, but whatever. But yeah, incredible. So hearing what Stitch said and then what the stuff I've been reading with Dana White doing some interviews, this leads me to believe that this one's a little bit warmer.
It's not going to sell the way the
Conor
one did, though.
But it doesn't have to, because Conor and Floyd sold $4 million, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say it does 25% of that. That's still a $1 million pay-per-view night, and that's still a great night.
Yeah, and they'll do more than $1 million.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be looking close.
I think Habib's stock went up with Conor.
Oh,
the
big
Conor
time,
fight,
yeah.
and then Floyd's just Floyd at this point.
Because now you got the good guy.
But God damn it, why does that have to happen in boxing though, man? Like, jeez, like this guy just gets his way, man. Like nothing. Can't there be one round where there could be takedown? I mean, anything, man. Like. Conor could outbox Habib.
Yes.
So imagine how poorly Habib's going to do versus Floyd.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've always said, in fact, I said it yesterday, whenever you have a flat-footed fighter boxing or fighting a boxer that moves around like Floyd, there's no competition. You guys will pick you apart from the outside, inside, and then he's an A-level fighter. Habib, where's he falling? About the C level at this point? You know,
boxing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Worse.
even know that.
Yeah.
He's never boxed.
You know, you talked about that 3-round of playing with him.
Yeah.
I don't even know he'd survive that.
Yeah.
Because there's not a punch that he's
And
going to throw that
I still
won't
stand
land.
by the fact that Floyd Sr. could beat Conor and Habib, much less Floyd Jr.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
But marketing 101. That's the whole thing.
Have you seen Floyd Sr. hit? And
I saw him yesterday at the gym. Yeah, you know, we're talking about, he's 65 years old. I was just talking to his partner. He's 65 years old, and man, he's quick as lightning. He's doing pads for these guys, and bam, and you know, he's beating them to the punch, and you know, and more power to him, man. He just has that speed. Yeah.
All right, let's take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Fight Nation Channel 93. Stay close. We'll be right back. We'll talk more boxing, MMA, maybe some football, because it's playoff time, baby. Modern day high school. I'll talk more about that. Drive you guys crazy, man. But hey, we had such a great team last year. I'm hoping that we can pull through this season as well. All right, stay close. We'll be right back.
change here, you might
These
have to
guys
turn
have
down.
none of that. You listen to
Find
them,
out right
so you're no better. I am awesome, though. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
On the heels of last night's stunning debut against Oakland, can 49ers Nick Mullins save your fantasy football season? Listen to Fantasy Sports Radio to find out what the experts are saying right now and get a full preview of this weekend's games from the fantasy football perspective on Sirius 210, XM87, and the SiriusXM app, and at home on SiriusXM connected devices and speakers. Did you guys see that game by any chance, or just catch the score or a highlight?
No, I don't know anything about it.
So I'm a Niners fan, but I grew up in SoCal. I live in Vegas. I don't know much about this rivalry between Oakland and Frisco. I don't know it. That's them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be seething if you're an Oakland fan. I mean, they got punked.
I saw what they're
and
the
there's
way
no
that
excuses.
people are reacting.
Even though they traded away Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper, well, guess what? Jimmy Garoppolo's out for the year. McKinnon, their starting running back, he's out for the year. You know what I mean? Both teams were terrible. But for one team to smack the other one like that, 34-3, oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a beatdown.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are just saving it for when they come to Vegas. They're going to have draft picks, and I think in Vegas they'll blow up, much like the Vegas Golden Knights. But right now, Oakland is Jokeland.
Yeah,
Jokeland.
Wait,
Yeah.
did you see a lot of that when you lived up in the Bay?
Oh, you know, I was there when the Oakland Raiders were at their highest peak. Kenny Stabler, John Matuszak, George Atkinson, you know, all these guys. And
Jack Tatum.
Jack Tatum. And, you know, like say, working with R.J. Reynolds, a lot of these guys, Gene Upshaw, Jack Tatum, George Atkinson, they all had liquor stores. So they were my account, so I would see these guys there. But, you know, guys like Kenny Stabler, I'd see them in the stores, John Matuszak. And I remember one time
Was Kenny an honest guy, or is he a snake?
He was a snake.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was funny because he had blue jeans on. He had a big old patch about this big of Goofy on his leg. You know.
Really?
These were the Raiders, man. So, yeah, and you're right. When they come to Vegas, whether they got a winning streak or a losing streak, they're going to sell out.
It's going to be a brand new thing.
They're going to
Fresh
sell out
start.
every time, of course.
Yeah. You going to go to any games?
Hopefully, you know, if I get invited. I know Caesar's Entertainment, I was just hearing yesterday.
Joseph, you have tickets? Where's Stitch? Where's he on your guest list? Remember, we made it to like 6-7 deep, and he hadn't even brought your name up. Obviously, I'm going first. But if I can't go, then who?
Yeah. Then I start going towards like some of the Raider fans, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I get to Stitch. So Stitch, you're probably about like number 4 and 5 around there.
No, it's never going to happen then. So you got season tickets?
But I don't want to take any of the Raider fans. It's just out of courtesy to them.
Oh, okay.
He's hoping they say no.
It'll be an invitation, so like the last day or something like that, you know.
Yeah, well, number 4 is better than 89, huh? Everybody wants to be a cut man. And
have you seen the stadium? It's really nice.
I drive by it every day. You know, it's coming along.
It's gotten a lot bigger in like the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. And then, you know, you see the highlights because I saw news where Caesar's Entertainment is going to be, I guess, one of the sponsors or whatever it is, and they showed the finished product of it, and it's going to be gorgeous. Now, is it a dome? I guess it has to be, huh?
It can be.
Yeah, it can be,
But it's not necessarily a dome. It's open, but it's got a retractable roof.
Oh, okay, good, yeah, because I think that's quite necessary
and
in Las
turf
Vegas.
comes out, the grass.
Yeah, that's
so
what somebody
plays on turf,
yeah.
and the Raiders will play on grass. So it comes out like that, and the sun hits it and all, and then it comes back in.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's high tech.
It is, man. I think it's going to really, really just lift the level of the whole city in terms of the entertainment offerings we'll have.
Yeah.
That stadium's going to allow for Final Four, WrestleMania, NBA All-Star Game, Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, a big UFC card, a big boxing card.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean that alone right there is just some big events. But there'll be others. I bet you if UNLV also became the IT school again, you know, they would have like a regular season matchup against North Carolina or something, you know, and then you'd maybe get a condensed version of it. Maybe they can pack 67,000. I think that's the capacity. But either way, I think, you know, something like that, just big historical events could take place here.
Now, what did you guys hear about a Major League Baseball stadium being built here? You know, there's some of the rumors going around.
I heard
that's crazy.
I heard basketball might be next.
Really?
And I remember when
why would you have basketball if you have the T-Mobile?
Oh, another stadium? I think you meant just the team.
Yeah, no, Major League Baseball stadium.
Yeah, I've heard them talk about it.
Yeah.
I know they have the new park that they're building downtown, right? That's supposed
I think so, yeah.
What is that? I thought that was MLS soccer or something like that, or one of those.
MLS soccer, not yet. I think they're waiting on.
What kind of an arena are they building? What are you talking about?
Isn't it for the what are they? The 51s or whatever? It's
their
their new place.
The
right?
AAA. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to the 51s here at all?
I have, yeah.
What's that like?
It's all right. You know, I mean, you got to get there early because if not, you'll sit in the sun. And that's the only bad thing is, you know, you don't want to sit in the sun when you're in Las Vegas watching a baseball game. But it was fun. It was good.
It's funny how the evolution of sports here in Las Vegas, when you think about it, you had the Thomas and Mack for the longest time.
Yeah.
Then Mandalay Bay, MGM come, and they probably take away some of the big fights over here. And just like that, T-Mobile shows up, takes those away from MGM, Mandalay Bay, and now there's going to be a stadium that's going to be taking that away from T-Mobile.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Well, that's the growth of Las Vegas.
A lot of stadiums.
They're talking about all the jobs that are being created because of the stadium and all the other projects that are going on here in Las Vegas. What's the new hotel at the end of the strip that they're doing? The big, giant complex.
Oh, it's called Vegas World or
something like that. You got
the dome. It's going to be the one with the dome?
Yeah, you got what Steve Wynn's doing behind his thing. Yeah. They said between all that, it's like 20,000, 30,000 jobs that will come in here. I mean, that's insane.
Okay, we got to build more freeways, get more cops.
Yeah. Take the back streets. That's what I always do now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You stay off the 15 and the 215?
Well, I try to as much as possible, you know. So just make the driving a lot easier.
And the subway. Did you mention the subway already? Or not the subway, but the
monorail
train, like a monorail that's going to go.
Monorail.
It's going to finish here at Mandalay Bay. It's going to go all the way through the strip. Basically, it'll be in addition to what you see behind MGM.
Yeah.
So it'll go there. It'll route all the way to downtown and then come back and go all the way to the airport.
Wow. Smart.
That's crazy, you know?
But
it works.
It works, no, of course, and you need it.
Because a lot of people may want to, well, I guess it sounds ridiculous to just fly in, train in, go to the game, and leave right back.
We did it.
We did do it, yeah. We did the BART. Yeah. We landed in Oakland, did the BART to Frisco, went to the game, and we went home that night.
Yeah.
But not to say Frisco's not a city you don't want to stay for the night, but Vegas is just, how do you come to Vegas and not stay the night?
Right, exactly.
Right? Or unless you're like anti-gambling and strippers and fun.
Yeah, you would have to, especially after a Raider game. But you imagine the traffic going back to L.A.?
Oh, my God.
Oh, if it's bad now, you know, you imagine that.
Yeah, because even the NorCalers have to cut through Bakersfield, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're anti-fun, you wouldn't go to a Raider game anyway, right? Unless you're for the other team.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Chubb versus Vertasic. These are kickboxers that are featured in tonight's FFC card, and they're the main event. Vertasic, if I'm not mistaken, is the champion. This is the middleweight division. We have a hybrid card, Stitch, with MMA, boxing, and kickboxing.
Yeah, you know, I'm really looking forward to it. You know, when Goals asked me to come to do the show today, I said, well, you know, I got to rest up and leave, but 3:30 I'll be at the arena. But, you know, I was at the weigh-in yesterday, and just to see these guys coming in, and Jeff Mullins that works with the Athletic Commission really kind of said it best because he has a kickboxing background. He said, man, these guys are the best kickboxers that you guys could bring in. So I'm looking forward to it. You know, the highlight tape for FFC is one of the first fight where the guy kicked the guy in the head and knocked him out, you know. So, you know, the big drive for FFC, it's a very unique fighting experience, you know, the dome. And, George, you went to the first one, Goes, you're going tonight. Mm-hmm. You know, once they turn those lights on, it doesn't look like the arena when you walk in before the lights are on. It's a phenomenal. And, you know, I got to give Orsat Zovko credit because everything that you saw, George, and that you'll see tonight was all his vision. Everything that you see there was his vision. You know,
tight.
It's tight, man.
When we took a tour a few weeks ago, they hadn't finished all of the painting, but now everything's gold and black.
I love those colors.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. Even like just that walkthrough, when you go through the Rio and you're in the Masquerade Tower, and you go through that little tunnel towards the back, they painted that as well, so it looks really, really cool. Before it kind of just looked like a shipping dock or something like that, and a warehouse. But you go inside, and he's right. He brought in all of this lighting. The production is top notch. It's really, really cool, and people were showing up, man. You know, even though quietly it came about with some delays, the words traveled, and I saw some MMA people in the corners of some of the MMA fighters, and now I guess what they decided, it's almost like they tripped up on it, because if you recall, Orsat was here on the show, and he was saying 1 week is boxing, 1 week is kickboxing, 1 week's MMA, but because of some delays, they put together like a hybrid card of all of them. Turns out the television partner likes it.
Yeah, CBS.
So it looks like that's the recipe going forward.
That's the whole recipe, and it's like I say, it's a very unique fighting experience, at the Fight Dome, because nobody has ever done that, where you have one boxing, two kickboxing, two MMA, and like you said, these are hybrid guys. The boxers will be 6 and 8 rounders because of the time slot, but I love the idea that CBS proposed, because now you have the fan from boxing, the fan from kickboxing, and the fan from MMA that will be able to tune in. So
yeah, you can always switch it back. I mean, even if somehow it turns out it doesn't work, you can always go back. But at some point, you just got to launch. And I just love that there's ideas that are different that are being thrown around, much like PFL with the regular season and the playoffs and $1 million or whatever. You got to do something to stand out.
Yeah, and what makes it also very unique is that we're going to do the next 3 shows in November. Then we're going dark to January the 17th. And then we get all the little kinks of the armor out and all that. But come January the 17th, CBS also wants to move it to Thursday, which makes it a lot better for all of us, because there's not as much competition with all the other sports and what have you not. But we're going to be doing that.
So Thursday now.
It'll be Thursday starting in January.
For
so
sure.
they're going to blow it up. Yeah, that's all requests from CBS. But they're going to put all kind of emphasis on it. So you got a little smile on your face, Goals. What's up?
Nah, I'll tell you later.
I can read him like a book. I'm looking at you, but I can read his body language.
Well, for one, right away I start thinking, okay, that's in January. PFL's on Thursdays. NFL's on Thursdays. But at least now they're not on Fridays. WWE SmackDown's on Fridays. High school football's on Fridays. So just my wheels turn in that regard,
Yeah. So we'll see.
Interesting. So it might be on Thursdays.
How could you were looking that way?
I read people like a book's my job,
be careful around this guy. I was over here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just see body language changes, bro. So,
all right, we should take one more break here. And to finish out the card, you got in MMA, Jordan Christensen versus Sherrod Blackledge. Back to kickboxing, Chris McMillan.
Jordan. Shouts to Jordan.
Cool, okay. Chris McMillan versus Tio Mikulich. And in boxing, Randy Fuentes versus Andre Keys. The co-main event that night will be Derek Minner versus Clay Collard. These are back to MMA, and that's the lightweight division. In fact, Collard was on Ultimate Fighter.
He's a fun guy to watch,
Yeah. All right. And, of course, the title fight in the main event. Chubb versus Vertacic. And trust me, the first names are very difficult. So I think it's Mikita Chubb versus Andy Vertacic. There you go. All right, folks. It's MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM. Fight Nation Channel 83. Stay close. We'll be right back.
They were kicked off the set of The Fast and the Furious for being too loud and too good-looking. Once again, here's Gorgeous George and Goes.
Hang out with Barstool Radio for their wild takes on the hottest stories from college football, the NFL, celebrity gossip, and much more. Barstool Radio by The Common Man for The Common Man on Power 85 and streaming on your phone, or at home on SiriusXM connected devices and speakers. Big shout out to Juliet from Anaheim listening to the show via her iPhone. Check this out. This was pretty interesting. Here are the UFC's top 10 most memorable moments at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, wow.
This is by Andrew Nesbitt. And it's funny because for them only being there, I think this is their, like, the beginning of their third year in the state of New York after so much campaigning to finally successfully get in.
Is it just New York
quite a list.
Or Madison Square Garden?
It is Madison Square Garden.
Oh, that's even tougher.
Number 10. Bisping taunts Yoel Romero from the Fox set. Remember, Bisping was standing at the top and he was imitating him, using an injection. Obviously taunting him for the anti-doping violation that he had just come off.
Solid choice.
Number 9, Joanna makes history with win at UFC 205. So that's when she defeated Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
And again.
Fellow Polish girl. Number 8, Khabib tells Michael Johnson to give up. So they were fighting, and in the middle of the fight, he's actually telling him to give up. He wants to fight for the title. He tells Michael Johnson, "You know this, I deserve it." And usually fighters just don't engage that way. If anything, they're talking smack to each other. But he was actually kind of having a conversation. Of course, now Khabib is the lightweight champion of the world, and Michael Johnson has dropped to 145. Number 7 is Miesha Tate surprises everyone with an immediate retirement. She had just lost to Raquel Pennington. That was on the heels of the loss of her belt to Amanda Nunes, and I think she was just tired, man. She was she reached the apex of the sport, and I think she just wanted to close that chapter, and now she's a mother. She's got a kid, a baby girl named Amaya. Number 6, Khabib calls Conor chicken in post-fight interview, and that began the process of him luring Conor into a fight, but he didn't really need to because by the time they fought, Khabib was the champ. Conor was the former champ. Conor wound up having to give up his belt because he went off into boxing and then took some time off. Number 5, the dramatic scoring mix-up of Woodley and Thompson. You guys remember that one? Yeah, it was announced as a draw. Wait. Sorry. It was actually, let me just play it. Let me see if I can hold the mic up to it. I forget how it went down. Well, that's a 4-minute video.
Do you the mix-ups that we've had in mixed
it
martial
scared
arts,
Woodley though for a second.
They've kind of gotten figured out right then and there, with the exception of a few. But in boxing, there's been some that even at the post-fight press conference, they come in and go, "By the way, you should stop asking him those questions because he actually won." Didn't that happen to like Barrera one time? I think he got it really bad, and they actually ended up telling him in the press conference, "You're actually the winner." We've actually gotten lucky. What were you say, Dad?
Did you know?
Majority decision, and it stayed on Woodley. And then they went back. No, it's a draw. And the fact that they retracted freaked out Woodley because he thought he was going to lose the belt.
His belt, right?
And
if he keeps it, the champ keeps the belt.
And if you were or a majority draw, I'm sorry. And if you're paying attention, he would have. I guess he would have kept the belt anyways. But yeah, I guess Woodley's thought in process was like, oh no, they're going to take away my belt.
A Steve Harvey moment.
Yeah, I will say I already know this person's going to put for their number 1, and it's going to really upset me because they're going with a lot of this drama stuff over like the actual action that I would argue should be flipped in the list. But go on.
How did he title it? He said most memorable moments. Okay, all right.
It's good moments in there though. Good moments that would be on my list. By the way, I'm not hating. I'm just forecasting that. I bet you this person's favorite moment is probably going to be one of my least favorite moments actually in MMA.
Oh, really?
But it'll be number 1 on most of these lists because a lot of these lists, as someone who has to do lists, you'll find out there's a lot of gimmies.
Well, I would imagine it's going to be Conor with the 2 belts, but that's my guess. Oh, that's one of your worst moments?
I just not the fight was great, the performance was great, but it just was a real ugly it's supposed to be this historic moment, for so many reasons. I mean, so much history was tied to this moment for the lightweight division, for him, for the organization, for dual champions. All these things, and it was just instead of the martial artist, the humble, even the arrogant but kind of funny, like 50 G's, baby. It was none of these tones. It was the me, whiny, where's my fucking this, and
he's the dimwit that forgot. He's supposed to bring his own belt.
Yes.
He's the 45 champ. So he should just have it with him. You know what I mean? They actually give these guys the carrying case for it. And when he wins the title, he is asking Dana, because obviously they're about to award him the new belt, but he's going, where's my belt? And you could hear Dana in the background going, what's your belt? You're supposed to bring it, you know? And he's upset at Dana because Conor's just – he's so powerful that he's unreasonable at times. You know, he couldn't understand that why would Dana have the other belt? You're supposed to have the other belt. You know, we have nothing to do with that. We're awarding you the new belt, and had it been Eddie would have gotten a new belt. But yeah, he's freaking out, and so they actually wind up getting Tyron Woodley's belt.
Yep.
They asked him
as a prop,
and Tyron Woodley said, "Yeah, sure," because no one's gonna say, "Hey, wait a minute, that's the welterweight belt."
Right.
So he was able to have that photo moment, you know. But I imagine if Woodley would have said, "Nah, I'm not doing it," you know, and that would have meant a lot to Conor, and I know it meant a lot to DC, and DC takes a lot of pictures with both belts. But all right, so that's number 5. Let's see what number 4 is. Number 4 is T.J. Dillashaw knocks out Cody Garbrandt. That was pretty big, man. All accounts was that Cody was just the stud in that room. There was talk about a knockout that had happened in training, and the guy was undefeated. He had just embarrassed Dominic Cruz prior to this when they fought, and Dillashaw, of course, lost the split decision. So I think a lot of people were drinking that Kool-Aid. Next thing you know, Dillashaw knocks him out. Number 3, Rose Namajunas takes Joanna's belt.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. I mean, yeah, all right. And number 2, GSP returns, taps out Bisping. Historical.
Can't hate on that one.
And number 1, yeah, Conor McGregor becomes the champ. Is number 1. Interesting. All right.
The performance of that fight, though, one of my favorites. I mean, it was amazing. You know, it's one of those few times. There's two like things where I'll cite where I love. Like one was Gaethje and Johnson, where nothing about getting the analysis or even the pick right, but when I'm trying to describe these guys' game, I was describing Gaethje as like a warrior from 300 fighting behind the phalanx, you know, fighting behind his you know, because he's such a strong with a double forearm guard. And it reminds me of like those phalanx, like those 300 soldiers they would fight behind. And in the post-fight speech, Gaethje goes, you know, he starts quoting 300 and comparing himself to a warrior. And I get a weird like little rub. That's more rewarding than calling like, oh, Anthony Smith round 3. And the other one was for Conor when I was describing how he throws his cross. And I was describing him like he pitches it at a funny angle where it's almost like a 1930s baseball pitcher, like you would imagine. And sure enough, what's Conor doing? Not easily throwing the cross like that, but he's putting the hands behind his back like a baseball pitcher getting ready to pitch. And like so I'm not even trying to hate. Like it was such a beautiful performance. But yeah, go ahead.
I gotta jump in. It's the top of the hour break. We'll just be gone for 40 seconds. We'll be right back. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Fight Nation Channel 93.
I've seen him.
Yep.
Yeah, it was great. I was like 2 rows back from the stage.
Oh, wow. Where at?
It was the Verizon Center where the Capitals play in DC.
Okay. Let's go to the YouTube chat for some quick comments. T is in there.
From France?
I don't know.
It is. It's T from France.
T from France. Okay. I'm jumping in mid-conversation. All T is saying is, like, when he boxed Connor, and then he's saying, no, because in their mind, it tastes good because that's how they grew up. What the fuck is all that? I don't know what they're talking about.
Don't make me translate.
Shout out to Real Real. Or, yeah, I think it's Real Real. Bucco rules.
Yeah, Bucco.
Bucco rules. All right.
It's Ben in New Zealand.
Yeah. That's Ben in New Zealand?
That's Ben.
I miss this.
Oh, no wonder why I like Bucco rules.
How do you have this coding system?
I didn't even know it was
Ben.
Ben.
How do you know all this shit?
What's up, Ben?
I know Ben.
He's on Twitter too. Bucco rules.
Big shout out to Juan Ramirez. He's saying forever Oakland. Raiders fan.
Oh,
yeah.
must be.
Although, you want to hear a funny story about Juan Ramirez?
Yeah.
Juan Ramirez is that big, muscular dude. He's a junkie listener.
Yes.
He's been to a few of the junkie gatherings. About 5 years ago, 3 to 5 years ago, one day I'm on Facebook, and someone from his family, I think he told me it was his sister, put up a picture of Juan Ramirez in Niners gear. Ooh. And ever since then, I busted his chops about it. Of course, he says it's not him, but I looked, and it was him.
It was him.
You could just tell it was a smaller version of Juan. You know, he was a kid. But it was him. He said Photoshop, and so I've always busted his chops on it. I guess when he was a kid, that's what he was. He was a Niners fan, but now he's diehard Oakland. DJ Quest 562, big shout outs to him. He says, big up to Edward James Olmos in studio. He says, he loved You in American Me.
Yeah, and it's funny because
other people were loving You in American Me too.
Yeah. Now, now my NMC is out, right? Yeah. And now so many people now are stopping me and say, "Hey, man, anybody ever told you look like?" Yes, I've heard it all the time. So that's not a bad thing.
The funny thing is, though, they could be referencing the time he was in here because he was in here with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
George, speaking of your go-to references, did Bilal Muhammad get back to you yesterday about your Bad Boys recommendation?
He goes, interesting. I did not know that. But Damon Martin co-signed.
He did.
And I think Russ from Boston. So hopefully he takes the time to listen to it. We were talking about Bad Boys. I told him, check out the original Bad Boys with Esai Morales and Sean Penn. Yeah. That, to me, is a better bad. Well, the other one wasn't bad. With Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. I guess it's doing a third part, But they've been entertaining. I didn't hate them, but the other one was pretty cool. Even Ali Sheedy's in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here.
The world's biggest booger you will ever see.
Oh, Viking. In that movie. Yeah, Viking, who turns out to be one of the guards. I guess he would be. There's the warden, and then who's the person right underneath the warden? Just the leader of the guards.
The head screw.
Does he have a name? Whoever that guy is. That guy played Viking in Bad Boys, but that's the guy that basically gets a $50,000 inheritance from a brother that died, and Andy Dufresne, which is played by Tim Robbins, says, "Well, I can help you negotiate that, so you don't have to pay the taxes on it." But yeah,
Clancy Brown is the actor.
Clancy Brown.
And they're known as the Screws. I know in the book.
And
he's the head screw.
Viking, okay. But he picked a booger in that movie and put it in Sean Penn's food. I swear to God, it looked like the size of a Cocoa Puff. It was the world's biggest booger.
I'll never forget my biggest booger. You want to hear it? Or do you want me to change the subject?
Yeah.
Okay, I played a lot of softball when I was growing up, or when I was an adult. And one time we got invited to a tournament. I remember, I think it was in like La Mirada, California. So we played literally this is a one-day tournament, and we wound up winning it. But I remember along the way, we had to play about 10 games.
Ooh.
It was a long day. And because we won the winner's bracket, when you win, you play at 7 a.m., see you at 11, see you at 5, you know what I mean? And then if you lose, all of a sudden you're on the hour every hour. Anyway, all I know is we won the tournament. People had pulled hamstrings. People had torn up knees. I was doing a lot of running because luckily my legs stayed healthy. But as I'm driving home, I'm filthy dirty. I think I went by a Carl's Jr. or a Del Taco or something, just loaded up. And as I'm driving, I just remember feeling something in my nose. So I thought, what the hell, right? Going there for a pick.
Oh, no.
I was going there for a pick. Oh, no. And I went in there and I go, whoa, right away.
You had to do that? It was like spaghetti?
No, but when I went in there, the booger stopped my finger from going in.
Wow.
So I just remember going, whoa, what's this? Because I remember at one point, I thought it could maybe be dried blood or something. So I just went in there and go, what's this? And I just remember going, ooh. So I had to like circle my finger in the nostril just to kind of get around it.
He's
and
fist
then
bump guy from now on.
And this as you're driving, right?
I'm not doing it now, Goes.
And this as you're driving,
I'm
correct?
tired from picking your nose that day?
I've washed my hands plenty of times since then. All right. And then after that, I just remember I had to kind of like get around it, you know, and then that way I could actually flick it with my index finger. And I remember I got it, and I just go, God damn. Like, I just remember I had to go halfway into my nostril to get it all and pull it out, and I just went, whoa. And I'll never forget that one, man. I'll never forget that.
I guess not. I guess we'll never forget it either, huh?
Can I watch that real quick with another Shawshank memory?
You want to know how it ties into the Del Taco? Or?
I'm thinking of
of course.
I'm just kidding.
I'm thinking of those big rubber cement boogers that you would make fake in school, except George had a real one. But here's a Shawshank tie-in, guys, that maybe is a little more funny. That relates to what we're talking about. You know, perhaps cholos. Perhaps maybe this remind Goes of a teacher he used to have. Now, Goes had a teacher, a couple, right? You said were kind of racist.
Oh yeah, no.
Now, tell me if this is racist or just it's inappropriate for sure. But he was funny. Like I would get entertainment from this teacher. He would play Shawshank Redemption in school, and of course it was high school. So like the scene where the sisters gang initiate, Andy in the washroom. Yeah. They had to, he had to fast forward to that scene because we were in high school. But here's what Mr. Jennings would do. He'd be like, all right, I got to fast forward this scene. And we had this kid, Juan, who was fresh out of juvie. And he goes, got to fast forward this. You don't want Juan here getting any flashbacks.
Oh.
And it was just like, and the kid was just like, he was like, what the heck? And he never said anything to anybody. Like, the kid didn't bother anybody. And he was like, what the heck? Like, and the teacher would always just give like cheap shots to people like that. I was like, oh my God, man.
What I want to know though is why are you two acting like I didn't look back to see Dan because I'm limiting my twisting, but as I was telling the story, you both were like Craig and
I'm visualizing
Craig and Smokey. Like
I was doing that too. I was doing the same thing too.
They were leaning away.
I thought I was going to go a different way.
Within the last 24 hours, you guys have probably picked your nose. What's the big deal here?
Well, I was picturing a Cocoa Puff.
Yeah. The way you described it.
Oh, it was bigger than a Cocoa Puff.
And the way you're saying you're spaghetti and
it was actually hard, but then it also had the mucusy type. That it had like a trail. You know what it looked like?
Eyeball?
Yeah, of
like
course.
A meteor.
Yeah,
with the tail.
Like a sperm.
Yeah, like a sperm. Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever had really bad eye boogers? I had one time where this has only happened once, but I guess I had so much that my eye when I woke up only one opened. It was like sealed shut, and I had to actually open it like that.
I don't think I've had that one.
Yeah, I've had that happen before. Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, I was getting chills down the spine when you were saying you weren't looking, but you were giving me the weebies too. Just the way you're
I just remember going, well, yeah, it had been a long day. It was dry. I was sweating. I was bleeding. And I just remember going, wow, that was pretty nasty, man. Like, and I just remember going, I can't eat this. Luckily, I had to go get gas, went in the washroom, washed my hands.
So where'd you flick it at? You had to flick it somewhere.
Huh?
Where'd you get rid of it at?
No,
on a napkin?
I think I just had a napkin or something.
The dirtiest place in a man's car, do you guys know where that is?
Where?
It's on the right side of their seat, because that's where guys pick their boogers and then go. And then they stow it.
Perhaps. Right, but I'll tell you what, that same tournament, I played with a dude. And that
Danny, get that drop. Danny, get that drop.
No.
Sorry.
What's so funny about that?
Sorry. Go ahead. Keep going.
So that's I played with a guy who was a really, really good softball player. And about a year or so before, him and I were driving from one tournament to the next or something like that. And I remember this guy would just openly pick. Pick and just kind of like, like you said, goes flick it or whatever. And I remember sitting there going, God damn, what's wrong with this?
Get huevos, huh?
Right, and so I told Sammy the Squid because he knows him too. And then Sammy the Squid, like an idiot, I think told the whole office. And I think they used to bust his balls about it. So I looked like an asshole at that point. I might as well have just told him myself.
Sure.
I think I can't remember because I kind of didn't see them much after that, or maybe they didn't. Who knows? But I just remember I told Sammy the Squid, and a few of the guys would always giggle or whatever when the word "pick" would come up. But yeah.
Wow, what a story.
Gross.
Yeah.
I can't believe you had to actually extract it. Most boogers just kind of jump on for the ride. You had to actually dig it out.
Yeah, I had to dig it out, dude. It had become just too much.
Wow.
Who do we have here?
I don't know.
Okay.
You
like my new prescription glasses, Stitch?
I was going to ask you about them. I turned my head.
Am I a douchebag? Do they look too much?
No, I think they look good on you, man.
Yeah.
They are prescription, though.
They are prescription.
Yeah.
Like I need them for the reads and the what.
Yeah.
But so these are my sunglasses that they were able to make them my prescription glasses. But
they're nice, yeah.
like a prescription glass, like you and Dan, I can see your eyes.
Yeah.
You can tell, okay, you probably need them for reading or whatever. See mine get dark with either UV rays or with these lights. So now I'm an asshole that wears his sunglasses inside.
Well, mine are transitional also.
Are they?
Yeah,
they
but only. Hey, what's up, guys?
Corey Hart
only with the sun. Never with the UV light.
Could you see my eyes?
I can see your eyes, but you look like a cholo, man. Look like a vato loco guy.
Yeah?
Yeah, but they look good on you.
The question was just, can you see my eyes? I don't think I needed that little extra
Oh, well, hell, you're talking about boogers and all that shit.
I'm not talking about boogers.
No, I'm talking about him. Yeah. So now they look good.
I guess I deserve that.
George is an 80s guy, so we should play him into Corey Hart. I wear my sunglasses at night.
Yeah. But you know what? I can read a lot better. I have 30 days to decide if this is what I need to stay with. They gave me a 30-day guarantee. But I really wanted clear glasses, not transitional.
Yeah.
Transitional.
Yeah, these are transitional, yeah.
So yours get dark when you go outside?
Yeah, of course.
And you're comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Man, I've been having a tough time. Like, I'm looking around, and I look like I'm looking through an aquarium. Like, you'll look clear, then, whoa, this will look big.
Well, here's what you need. You need
the other day, I thought I was on stilts.
Yeah.
Because I was looking down where I stepped because of my knee. And it literally looked like everything was 10 feet below me. So I felt like Gene Simmons, like walking on heels or something.
Yeah, you need bifocals. That's what these are. But you can't see the lines. So when I'm there reading, it's the same. And I look at you, there's no adjustment. But I understand if you only have one vision and you're doing all this.
Most people can walk without having to look down. I have to look down where I step because of my knee.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt it again. But
take them back and get bifocals.
Right. It's got a name.
Trans something, right?
No, trans. What'd you call it again?
Transitionals.
Those are the ones that they can become dark at night.
Yeah.
But there's some that I think it's with an R or a P. I forget what it's called. But it basically allows you to have clear vision, but also reading. Reading's what I need, really. That's all I need, man. The guy talked me into so much stuff. Yeah. It's like I went in there to buy a Nissan Sentra, and I walked out with like an Audi 8 or something.
Right.
Something I just didn't need.
Yeah, I just soaked you, brother.
How many Nissan Sentra owners right now just threw their coffee off their desk? Forget this guy.
Well, I didn't say a shitty Nissan Sentra or anything like that.
I think you should own it. You should just be like the Horace Grant of radio.
But
you need new transitionals, man, with bifocals.
On his, you can't tell at all.
But see, when I'm at the beach, if I wear these at the beach or at the pool, I got sunglasses on, right?
Yeah.
But then when I look around, the bottom part is magnified. I don't need that when I'm at the pool or at the beach. Unless I'm one of those that reads a book or something.
What if they bring a menu?
I just always go with a burger and fries. Yeah. All right. Big shout out to Don Piccolo and DJ Tony.
Big Don.
Yeah, DJ Tony. So there you go. We also have a few calls. Let's get to them. They've been waiting for a while. We'll start off with Ben in New Zealand. What's up, Ben? How you been?
How you been, Ben?
Yeah, I've been sweet as cool shades. Always sweet to be able to call into the only show that matters with Gigi Gertz and Dan Tom, who's also the host of his own show, Protect Your Neck, which I also enjoy, even if it doesn't matter.
Hey, thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Nice plug.
Also, shout out to my homies in the YouTube chat, especially T, who was a top-notch sparring partner earlier this morning when me and him went back and forth for way too long on why people think that Derek Lewis is a funny dude.
Derek Lewis is hilarious, man. The UFC's lucky to have that guy. He's a breath of fresh air in his own way.
Yep. I didn't know you were Bucho Rules, man. That's crazy. This is news to me.
Yeah, I used to play in a band with a bunch of guys, and we used to always watch Desperado or Boogie Nights after every band practice when we'd have a feed and have a few beers. And so then Bucho from Desperado, my drummer, started calling me Bucho just sort of out of nowhere, and it's been my nickname ever since for like last 15 years.
Dude, that's awesome. I saw that, and I immediately thought of Desperado because that's on my queue. And so is Boogie Nights. It's a great movie, too, by the way. Real underrated flick. Well-made movie, but good choice. Good choice there.
Yeah, listen, Dan, Tom, what about my boy Izzy Adesanya? I've been watching him since like his second or fourth professional fight when he fought one of my teammates. So I've been tracking him for a long, long time. And Derek Brunson is a scary person for him to go up against. I'm one of those people that I don't actually enjoy watching Mark Hunt fight. I don't actually enjoy watching Izzy fight or Dan Hooker because I get so nervous because they're sort of my boys. And Derek Brunson is a guy who's like your buddy Conor Rubush was saying the other day, he's dangerous on the outside, he's dangerous on the inside, but Derek Brunson crossing that space in between trying to get from the outside to the inside, he sort of closes his eyes and rolls the dice. So what are the chances that Izzy's going to catch him there?
Yeah, Derek Brunson, I feel like, has been a hard guy to get a beat on. Izzy, obviously, I've been high on, like everybody else is, although I did, admittedly pick against him last time. Obviously, I had some bias, speaking of boys, in that equation. But I never not gave Izzy his due, and I think he even elevated the ceiling for a lot of people with that last performance. But you're right about Brunson, and so is Connor in that sense. But I will tell you this, for all the Brunson fights that I feel like I've been wrong on, whether right or wrong as far as the pick goes, I feel like that Anderson Silva fight I had a pretty good feel for, and I kind of surprised myself because I went in picking Brunson, but I ended up siding with Anderson for my official pick, and it was because I felt like that kind of elusive counter style really messes with Brunson. He'll get sucked into that lull. He'll fight the other guy's fight. Like Brunson, of course, everyone criticizes him. He'll get crazy. He'll brawl, but we also seen him do the same thing. He'll also fight another guy's fight where he'll lull too. And I see everybody compares Jones to Adesanya, and I don't want to be disrespectful and compare him to anybody, but I feel like Anderson Silva is more of an appropriate comparison as far as that long countering style, and I think he's going to get Brunson kind of sucked into that. So, I got Izzy here, but I'm just kind of waiting and seeing. I always feel weird like discounting a guy like Brunson. It feels like a crime.
Yeah, the man brings the chaos. There's these fighters that live in the chaos, and Brunson is sort of one of them. I don't know if he actually chooses it. Like some fighters, like Tony Ferguson, chooses chaos. I think Brunson is sort of forced into chaos because he's uncomfortable in that space in between. But listen, I want to get off. I know DJ Tony, my main man, is on the line, ready to come at you. But I haven't said hi to Stitch yet. Stitch, always the best shows when Stitch is in studio. So awesome to have you in there, Stitch. And one last thing. Dan, I know that you're a fan of Adam Carolla, and he sometimes comes to Las Vegas. One of my dreams has always been to have Adam Carolla get into the MMA Junkie studio. He used to box. He's been a boxing trainer, a kickboxing trainer. He follows MMA. So, Dan, if you're still following Adam Carolla, then track him, and next time he's in Las Vegas, try and see if you can link up.
Dude, I'm on it. That's a great idea. Yeah. I'm on it. As long as these guys will be down, I'm on it, yeah.
Make it happen. Thanks for the call, Ben. Let's go to DJ Tony in San Francisco. What's up, Tony?
Coming at ya, gentlemen. I didn't want to call, but knowing that Boulevard Nights, look that up, kids, by the way, the one and only Stitch Duran was on MMA Junkie, I had to call because Mohandas Deweezy, also known as Cool Mo D, called me and said that he wanted Gigi. He wants his glasses back, so not trying to give them up. I did want to ask you guys about this. What do you guys think about Jimmy Smith? It seems to be like there was a big move for the UFC to get the voice of Bellator over, but he's not being used. And with Paul, I forgot what the Gingy's name is. Paul
Felder, yeah.
Felder. Thank you, Goes and Stitch. Now with Paul Felder taking yet another fight, is Jimmy Smith going to get any time at all? And by the way, before I leave, Gigi, thanks for keeping me on my diet by that nice 6-minute rant on boogers. Gentlemen, you guys are the best. Stitch Duran, holler at your boy in the Bay Area.
Of course. Hey, holler.
All right, we'll see you, Tony. Did you guys get all his questions? Or?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you want to take a commercial?
Yeah, let's take the little guy.
All right, we're going to do the commercial then. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM's Fight Nation Channel 93. Stay close. We'll be right back with Marlon Vera, who will be fighting at UFC Fight Night 140 in Buenos Aires, Argentina. His opponent that night will be Guido Canetti.
Bingo.
They can drink Mentos-flavored Diet Coke without their stomachs giving a single fuck. They are Gorgeous George and Goes. And this is MMA Junkie Radio.
On the heels of last night's stunning debut against Oakland, can 49ers quarterback Nick Mullins save your fantasy football season? Listen to Fantasy Sports Radio to find out which experts are saying what the experts are saying right now, and get a full preview of the weekend's games from the fantasy football perspective. Series 210 XM87, the Sirius XM app, and at home on connected devices and speakers. All right, we are going to turn the page here. We got Marlon Vera on the hotline. Marlon is set to fight on November 17th at UFC Fight Night 140 in Buenos Aires, Argentina, against Guido Canetti. He joins us now from the hotline. What's up, Marlon? How you doing, my man?
What's up, bro? Everything is all right. Just finished some breakfast with my wife and doing great. It's a great day to be alive, and it's a great time to be in the UFC and kick people's ass.
Ecuador versus Argentina. I love it.
Yeah, sounds great to me too.
Yeah, but I caught your interview on another one of the shows here on Fight Nation Channel 93, and I'm hearing you're bringing a lot of people from Ecuador, or from where? From America, from Ecuador, from both?
I think from everywhere, you know. How I fight attract the fans, and I always believe that this is a show, and we gotta put a big one for the fans, and people pay for the tickets, people pay for watch, so that's a reward I'm giving to everybody.
Mm-hmm. You guys were part of development for UFC Latin America. A lot of people don't even know about that. I've heard a little bit about it, but what was the developmental contract like? For how long was it, and where did you guys train?
I went to Jackson's MMA. I was one of the last guys, so I trained for the last time. Everybody was there over a year. I went there, and after 6 months, I went to the Ultimate Fighter. So it was good to me because I don't spend too much time in there. That was pretty stressful, you know. Mm-hmm. And I met all the guys in there. There was Jair, Checo, Alejandro Perez, Guido was there. Everyone were there. We trained for I trained with them for about 6 months, and then we all went to the Ultimate Fighter.
Mm-hmm. How much training did you do with Guido Canetti? Did you spend a lot of rounds with him, or was he one guy that was on one side of the mats and you were on the other side?
To be honest, there was a lot of guys in Jackson, you know. That was a big gym. There was a lot of people, so it's not like I spent time with him in specific. And then at the end of the day, that was more than over 4 years. So in 4 years, he changed a lot. In 4 years, he used to get older, and I used to get better. So I feel this is a good matchup, and it's all business to me, you know. I don't take nothing personal. There's a little trash talk in there, but to me, it's not like, I don't fight because somebody told something bad about me, or because I fight because the payday. I want 2 checks. I want my family to be okay, and I want to climb those rankings. I have been trying to be there for a while, and I think now it's time to crack that top 15.
Correction, Marlon. You want 3 checks. You want your show money, your win money, and a performance bonus check, right?
Yeah, the performance bonus always came with the hard work. I already earned 2 in almost 11 fights in the UFC, and I think all the fights were good. And then I really believe there were a couple fights I should get the bonuses, and I just don't get it. But I always leave the bonus aside, and I just try to put all my skills together and put in a show for the fans. And then the bonus are like the KO. You don't chase them; they just come to you.
Yeah, I like that. All right, we're talking to Marlon Vera. They call him Cheeto. He'll be fighting Guido Canetti at UFC Fight Night 140 in Buenos Aires, Argentina on November 17th. All right, Goes, what do you have for Marlon Vera?
Marlon, you just stated all the reasons why you do this, the money and the family and all that, but is there even just a small percentage? George mentioned it in the beginning, that the whole Argentina, Ecuador, I know they don't have that much of a rivalry, but is there just a little nationalistic pride on the line as well, representing Ecuador?
Yeah, to be honest, of course, two South Americans fighting in South America. Obviously, we both want to win for our pride, for our country, but it all goes down to who's the most prepared, who won the most, and who's in the most comfy in the uncomfortable. So I believe I'm prepared. I believe I'm pushing myself. I did all the hard work. I'm eating right. I feel good. My mind is strong. My body feels really good. And to be honest, I always say this: you want to beat me, you gotta kill me. And to be honest, I'm hard to kill because I'm always in the fight. I'm always trying hard. So I just believe this guy's not going to be able to match the pace. He's almost 40 years old, and I don't care what you're doing at that age. There's no way you can match a 25-year-old guy that is hungry, that is working his ass off, and I'm just willing to do anything to win a fight. So it's going to be like when the crocodile get his food, take into deep waters, and just snap the head off.
Ooh, I got chills. Right
Yeah, and Marlon, this is Stitch here. ¿Cómo está, amigo?
We got
And
Stitch Duran, boxing and MMA legendary cutman with us as well.
Un placer. Hey, but Leon, you're
I'm really happy to have a Stitch here in this conversation.
Of course, man. But, let me ask you, because you were talking about Ecuador and Argentina, but do you, within yourself, do you feel that you're representing Ecuador? Because you're actually putting Ecuador on the map for MMA, because not too many people know, who comes out of Ecuador. So do you consider yourself a pioneer of MMA for Ecuador?
Of course, sir. I believe I put in the map, and every time I win, that's why I work every single fight with the flag, because there's not too many people doing that, and I feel pride of that. I feel pride of coming to Ecuador, and I just believe we got the condor in our flag. So every time I go fight, I try to fly as high as a condor, and I believe my people is always happy when I win. You cannot make everybody happy, but at the end of the day, I try to take the pride of that. I want to be a legendary guy when I retire. I want to be that guy that came from a small country and make a big impact around the world, because the UFC is worldwide. So, and I fought in many countries that I just want to leave that impact and legacy when I'm done. So there's a lot of things to drive me to be great. So there's nothing that can stop me when the right mindset is in there, and I believe I'm in that moment right now.
That's excellent.
I love that answer.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, Marlon, I know that all the reasons that we just talked about and what Stitch just brought up as well, but the UFC going into new territories in South America, they've been in Brazil for so long, is there a little bit of pressure to not only just get your victory, but put on a show for everybody there?
To be honest, man, I love the pressure. I love the talent. I love to get tired. So I'm not scared of being in a bad situation. I'm not scared to have the pressure in my shoulders, because I have all the pressure in the world. Let's be honest, I'm the only guy from Ecuador in the UFC. It's not too hard to cut me if I lost a couple fights, because there's not too much money coming from my side. So I just put the hard work, and to be honest, the best of me came under pressure. The best of me came when I'm against the wall, and I just feel prepared. And every time the crowd gets crazy in scramble and punches, that just turned me on. The fire got inside of me. I cannot describe it, because it's pretty intense, and I just love the madness that I go through in this world of fighting and in this game, because it's just something that's taking a life. The adrenaline, the challenge, the pressure, all those things are the ones that make me feel alive, and I love that wild feeling of just going to fight and make it bloody, make it hard, and the fight game is not a pretty game. It's not like you play in whatever, like it's something easy or you feel comfy. I love the walk. I love the pressure in the locker room, and when it gets hard, you just see the best of me. And I used to feel pressure when I was younger. Now I feel better. I got 3 kids. I have a family, so I have to act like a man and have goals. I want to bring the UFC to Ecuador on the headline, and I believe that's not too far away.
There you go.
Because I
like that.
I feel I'm doing a good job in the UFC. I work for the Spanish commentary with Victor Davila, so I believe people know me enough. So, and those are my goals in my notebook. Bring the UFC to Ecuador and headline. I would put a fucking show to my people, and they know that. I have to keep winning, and winning this fight, it just made me closer to that. And I see that coming in my future. I visualize a lot. I meditate. I see myself on the top, and I can only expect good things to me because I work my ass off.
Well, I visualize too, and I have actually Marlon Vera winning this fight. That's going to be my prediction. I'm glad it's on the tip of your tongue. When they interview you at the end, I do want you to make a plug for the UFC to go to Quito, Ecuador. I think they should take a fight night or one of their events there. I'd also like to see you fight in Anaheim because you now live in Southern California, and that's coming up in January, as we all know. It's UFC 233. I think you deserve to be on a card like that. And lastly, if you remember, I think this would be a gangster move. Have somebody in your corner lift up a sign that says, "Don't cry for him, Argentina."
Ooh, that would be great.
But then make sure you run out of there, man. You got to run out of there quick, But I think I'd love to see you pull that one off.
Trust me, I'm always practicing my speech after a win. So I always like to say the right thing because you got a couple seconds to promote yourself, to ask for what you want, but without looking dumb or asking stupid stuff. So I'm always practicing and I'm always trying to figure it out what's good. And one time Bruce Buffer told me, "Hey, I like your speech. You're doing well. Keep it up." So that means all the time I'm practicing in front of the mirror, whatever I will say, is worth it. So, and I'm expecting that. You read my mind. The Anaheim car is already in my mind. I live down the street, so I win this fight, take a couple weeks off, go back to work, because no matter what, win or lose, I'm always back in the gym within a week. I don't like to sit down and wait. I'm always preparing myself. So the Anaheim car is already on my mind. It's in the back of my head, and it's something that keeps the fire on me. Like, train hard, stay motivated, stay sharp. We'll win this fight, and then you will be there because they already put me in the LA card in short notice, and I put in a show for the fans. So
yep, I agree.
Why not go again and put another one? I'm always down for a scrap. I'm always down to fight, and the Argentina crowd is going to be upset, but at the end of the day, they know who's daddy. Daddy's coming, and I will kick ass, and I will show them who's the real man in there. Because no offense to the Argentina guy, but win or lose, how many years he got? He already put positive for asteroids. He don't have too much time in this sport, so they should go with a young guy with a better face and just the better skills guy. So they will cheer for his guy at the beginning, but then at the end they will show respect and they will know who came to stay.
Right on, my man.
I can see why you're doing commentating with Victor Davila and mándale mis saludas, but you're very good at what you do and presenting yourself as a fighter. And, we've always said that in boxing that the only thing that counts is the truth, but it seems that Marlon, everything that he spoke was the truth. Yeah. So good job on that, brother.
Oh, thank you so much. I have been learning a lot from Victor. He's a really good mentor in that side, and yes. I always call himself like he's a Joe Rogan from Mexico, so it's good to be surrounded with good people, knowledge people, because when you started the fight game like that, it's even easier to fight. I call so much fights already that I see a lot of things in the fight game that I can get better at just from that side of my job. And that was my dream when I was in Ecuador. Like, my wife knows that. When I was over there, I was like, oh, when I moved to America, that's going to be my job. And now I'm here living in California and working with the UFC in Spanish. And it's just like everything I have said in my life, I'm accomplished it. Since my daughter smile, since the commentary. So I'm just crushing my goals, and I'm a guy that I can only work if I have goals in front of me. If I don't have goals, my life is a mess. And that's something that Tyson Fury was talking to Joe Rogan. If he have goals set, he's a guy that he's a functional man. I'm the same way. Without goals, I'm not worthy, because what are you doing in this life if you don't have nothing to do? So
Just
I believe God put in
you.
this position to make stuff.
Yeah, good stuff, man. All right, Marlon. Well, thank you very much for joining us here on the MMA Junkie Radio Show. It's always great to have you on. Safe travels to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and good luck on November 17th versus Guido Ganetti.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate the time you gave me to expose myself here and talk to you guys. It was an honor to talk to you, Stitch. You're a legend of the sport, and thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
All right, take care, Marlon. We'll see you. All right, that's Marlon Vera, Cheeto Vera. Good things have happened to that guy. He had that Pepsi, the billboards across all of Ecuador with his mug. And Pepsi's a huge sponsor. He got that one. You know.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
No, I like his character, outside of his fighting skills, but just the way he presents himself is really indicative of what he wants to do, following his dreams and having those goals. And, and he's absolutely right. Unless you have goals, you can't achieve them. So, sí se puede.
All right, okay, so we're going to do our break here. We got to get this break out of the way. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Fight Nation Channel 93. Stay close. We'll be right back with the Daily Debate. You guys are going to enjoy this one. It's a little bit different, a little bit outside the box.
Out a whistle. Here are Gorgeous George and Goes.
Hang out with Barstool Radio for their wild takes from the hottest stories of college football and the NFL, celebrity gossip, and much more. Barstool Radio by the Common Man for the Common Man on Power 85 and streaming on your phone or at home on SiriusXM connected devices and speakers. Remember, tonight, Santa Ana Mater Dei will be playing at Valencia High School. That's right. I'll be here on Monday to take my medicine. We ain't going to lose that game. No, man. Good luck to the Monarchs tonight. Hopefully we can get another shot at Bosco. St. John Bosco is the only team that gave us a loss this year, but we haven't forgotten. All right. Time for the Daily Debate, guys. Here we go. You with us on this one?
Yeah,
right,
let's do it.
Let's do it. Here we go. Really, this is for real, guys. Here we go. The question for today is Carl's Jr. or Popeyes? How it ties into MMA is because of Popeyes, obviously granting Derek Lewis free Popeyes for life. One particular chain, one franchise in Houston will give him, win or lose, free Popeyes for life. But that particular franchise, for 1 hour, if Derek Lewis were to win on Saturday night, on I believe Sunday or a subsequent day, will honor free Popeyes for everybody. So now the interesting twist to it all is DC has been promoting Popeyes forever. In fact, one time Goes and I were doing the show. DC was an in-studio guest. He showed up with Popeyes. He brought us lunch and everything. But it looks like Derek Lewis is the benefiter from this. But if you had to choose, Popeyes or Carl's Jr.?
I'm going to go with Carl's Jr., but I want Carl's Jr. to slow their roll, okay? Popeyes is a one-trick pony. It's just chicken pretty much, right? So, I mean, they're great, and they're great at what they do. They have some good sides, but Carl's Jr. can give you more of a variety. Now, where they have to slow their roll is last time I went there, I ordered a number 84 combo. Chill out. You need maybe like 10 or 15. Western bacon cheeseburger is my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Carl's.
How about you, Stitch?
I got to go Popeyes. You know, I'm not a big chicken guy. You guys read the book. You know, I used to step on the chicken shit and that smell, but Popeyes has great chicken. And then not only that, but, you know, when I travel in the airports, I went and I had their sausage, egg, and biscuit in the morning.
They do that?
Oh, man, it was tremendous. So that's what I want to do in the mornings is go get that. Popeyes all the way.
Dan, Tom?
Man, it's a confusing one. I mean, I'm trying to tie this into MMA, and the way I think about it, I was like, okay, Popeyes look like they came late to the party, right? Trying to get behind DC was, you know, because Carl's trying to get behind DC because Popeyes already got behind Derek Lewis, despite DC being the Louisiana boy. But Carl's Jr. actually, I'm confusing myself here. Carl's Jr. actually backed Ronda Rousey back in the day, correct, guys? So they kind of were first to the scene, so they have some kind of clout there, but. For going my taste buds, I'm going to go Popeye's chicken. You know, now if they represent the fighters, if Popeyes represents Derek Lewis and Carl's Jr. represents, DC, then maybe we have to switch our picks around because then I'd have to take Carl's Jr. I'm really confusing you now, but going with Popeye's chicken because of the sides and the fried chicken.
All right, if you were having one meal, man, Popeyes with all the sides is really tough.
Oh, you can't beat.
But I'm telling you, pound for pound, the Superstar with cheese from Carl's Jr. is the best burger on the planet.
What?
It's awesome. The Superstar, yeah, with cheese.
You know, on the planet.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
We're not even just talking fast food. You're talking
about
the planet?
In-N-Out, the Wendy's Double. I love them all.
Did you just arrive to the planet today? How could that be the best burger?
That's the one, man.
Better than Fat Burger?
Better than Fat Burger.
No kidding.
You know the one thing you didn't mention, though, about Carl's Jr., I think it was why Stitch didn't pick them.
They have those crisp-cut fries.
I was going to say, the crisp-cut fries, I think, is good. Those things give Stitch more work. Those things are so sharp. That's probably why he didn't pick them.
Yeah. And, you know, Goes is right, though. They tried to add, El Señor or something, the green burrito.
But now they have, like, the $10 burger
yeah, stick to the burgers. They have the Famous Star, the Superstar, which is an extra patty to the Famous Star, the Western Bacon. Those are all solid.
The teriyaki guacamole burger. What the fuck is that?
Stick to that and their shakes and their crisp cut. And I'm telling you, I think Carl's is the way to go. Popeyes is money, but it's just like kind of like the one meal spread out. Yum, yum, great. But you don't feel like going back the next day or the next week or the next month, whatever you indulge in. Whereas Carl's, you could probably go and have a different burger in a few days and say, well, that's completely different from what
but I get tired of
Carl's
burgers.
For me.
Yeah.
Here's how it worked out. 770 votes came in, but 72% said Popeyes.
Yeah.
28% said Carl's Jr. And there you go. There's today's Daily Debate with the MMA Junkie Radio team and boxing and MMA cutman Stitch Duran. All right, let's go to this phone call, and then we got to get wrapping things up. Let's go to Kevin in Chicago. What's up, Kevin? How you doing?
What's up, guys? I just want to get your take on something real quick. I was arguing on Twitter with something, of course, and their take was that Conor McGregor had to work his way up. He had 2 belts in Cage Warriors, and so they're thinking, well, Ben Askren should have to work his way up just like Conor McGregor. And my take is Bellator and ONE FC are way more prestigious than Cage Warriors. I think the competition in Bellator is head and shoulders above the competition in Cage Warriors. We saw Cage Warriors fighters come over and get smoked, just like this Chris Fishgold character. He came in, he was like their big champion, big hyped-up champion. He came and got knocked out by a mid-tier fighter named Calvin Kattar. So I was wondering what your take is on that.
All right, well, don't forget, though, they also had Dan Hardy and Michael Bisping before Conor McGregor, so they've also had their version of good fighters. And I'm not just saying that because they used to be partners of ours. I really enjoyed Cage Warriors for many years. But you're right. Bellator and one championship, those belts, along with being undefeated and an NC2A 4-time All-American, 2-time national champion, and an Olympian, that has clout. He should be able to come into a title fight. It wouldn't be shocking to me if he did. Remember, Gilbert Melendez came in straight to a title shot. Others had to take one fight, like an Eddie Alvarez, for example, and he had come over as a former Bellator champ. So it all depends on what division you're coming to, what the circumstances are. But, I mean, come on, man. That guy's undefeated. He can talk a good game. If they were to do it, I don't think anybody would be opposed to it. It doesn't look like that's what's going to happen, though. He'll probably have to take one fight, and then after that, maybe a title fight. But don't forget, he's coming into welterweight, and Tyron Woodley's his ex-teammate at Missouri, and they've already said they won't fight. So I don't know what's going to happen with Ben Askren. Either a division's going to have to open up, or one of those two is going to have to move up to 85 because they're not going to fight each other. So for now, it's just Ben Askren and a bunch of super fights.
Yep, I agree there. And so what do you think about this co-main event, Jacare versus Weidman? Weidman is saying that if he wins, he thinks he's going to get a title shot. Do you think that's the case?
Yeah, I agree with Weidman.
Jacare?
Because that would be 2 in a row, and it'd be over Jacare and Gastelum.
Former
and Gastelum's
champion,
fighting the title. Yeah,
that's what they want.
Yeah, Jacare might have it a little bit more difficult. Jacare's got to win and be exciting because he just lost to Gastelum. You know what I mean? So others could maybe make a case, and I'm telling you, I think people love them some. Paulo Costa and Israel Adesanya, and especially Adesanya being on this card, if he were to do something spectacular and Jacare looks like dog shit, then he may get leapt over. Which is it?
Leftover.
Leaped, okay.
Leaped over?
Leaped over.
I don't know. You went to modern day.
I know, but I went to business.
Are you looking at public school?
I was taking Spanish to get the easy. Yeah. Thanks for the call, Kevin. Always great to talk to you. Let me thank all of our guests for the week here. That way I don't leave them out. Ben Saunders, Boss Rutan, Ben Askren, Burt Watson, John Morgan, Mark De La Rosa, Amanda Cooper, Mercedes Terrell, and Jade Bryce, Montel Jackson, Calvin Kattar, Stitch Duran, and Marlon Vera. And keep it locked all weekend long on MMA Junkie. We got you covered for the big card out there in New York, UFC 230, headlined by Daniel Cormier and Derek Lewis. We got Mike Bond and Ken Hathaway out there doing their thing. They've already been kicking ass, and I expect no less. And, of course, with the other reporters and editors backing you, we have got you covered for Saturday night's main event. On Twitter, at DanTomMMA, at Stitch Duran, at The Goes. Danny, who's producing the show, is at Danny Otto, and I'm at MMA Junkie George. Tonight, FFC 33 takes place at the Fight Dome in the Rio Casino Hotel. It's all suites, so I'm telling you, like Stitch said, they're really going to close out the year with a few shows here in November, and then in 2019, beginning on January 17th, they're going to come strong. So you might as well start planning that out. And it looks like Thursday might be the move, huh?
Yeah, and then it's live on CBS Sports. It's 7 o'clock Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern time. So check it out. You see some good fights.
If you're not MMA people, make sure you check out Danny's show, Popping Off. If you subscribe to his channel, he gets enough subscribers, he will be doing a show in the nude. So make sure you subscribe and follow.
Ooh, how do you unfollow?
I never said that, Goes. You don't follow it anyway.
Tonight's main event, by the way, at FFC, it's a middleweight title bout. Andy Verticic from Pula, Croatia will be defending against Mikita Chubb from the Ukraine. This is a hybrid card. You'll watch kickboxing, boxing, and some mixed martial arts. And I'm telling you, the Fight Dome is fun, man. If you come to Vegas, definitely start planning on making that part of your visit. I was there the other day. I got to see the fights. I had time for a late dinner. I still had time to pull on the slots and have some fun there. So it's a great way to start a weekend or a long weekend in the case of the Thursday night shows. But for the rest of this year, you guys will be doing Friday nights.
Yeah, and it's great for me because no more traveling. So I get to go home after the fights and sleep in my own bed. But it's a great experience.
I love that you can walk into a building and you could see the soul of it. And the soul, all it talks about is combat sports, right? That's the only reason you're walking into that building. I think that's a cool environment.
It, the Fight Dome. And, as Orchad said, at first he was going to call it something dome. And he woke up and said, no, it's a Fight Dome because it's all disciplined. So
don't forget to please let's have one more catch-up here before Creed.
Yes.
Comes
of course.
Out. It drops on Thanksgiving.
And I'll have you some I'm going to the premiere November the 14th, so I'll be able to give you some behind-the-scenes stuff on how the movie went. But I know it's an exciting movie, probably the best one I've been in. Definitely I think it's going to be better than the original Creed. The storyline with Ivan Drago and his son is phenomenal.
That's
phenomenal,
awesome.
man.
We're very happy for you.
It'll give you chills.
Yeah.
All right. We have got to get out of here. Big shout out to Aaron, Brett, and John. We're going to be chatting with them, hanging out with them later on, although I'm not too sure about the Bosco talk. I might have to ease off. They got scoreboard on us. But they have a podcast called You're on the List. Check it out. And we have to get out of here. So, folks, have a nice weekend. Go out there and be a champion.
A fortune won and